One, did you hear me? Good morning, everyone. We might as well have an echo taking place here. Thank you all so much. Thank you for coming in here and being part of our National Voter Registration Month and the kickoff that we have for it. To those who are here in person, and what a great crowd in person, and to those who are watching live on our webcast, thank you for tuning in also. And I have to say a special hello to Jo Bogg Phillips and her students at Ripley High School. Now we're looking at you, students, so you can go ahead and wave right now. They're watching on the webcast. They're seniors who are in Ms. Phillips' civics class. And this is their opportunity for that unfiltered look at state government while sitting right there in their desks. And so we're probably on we're about on a 30-second delay, as you can see, because they waved. So thank you all very much for tuning in also. And I also want to welcome our interpreter, who is Rachel Reka, who will be interpreting for this newscast, webcast and news conference. Anthony, I put little things together there, didn't I? I also want to welcome the Harrison County Clerk, Susan Thomas, who is the president of the County Clerks Association. Thank you, Susan, for being here. And I also want to welcome all of our office partners who are here, those that we work with daily on projects important to West Virginians. The Division of Motor Vehicles has been a wonderful partner for the Secretary of State's office, and in turn serving the people of West Virginia so well, as you see two state agencies come together for such important projects as voting and registering to vote. We also have partners like Inspire West Virginia Advocates, West Virginia Commission on Deaf and Hard of Hearing, Citizens Action Group, the West Virginia Disability Community, our religious communities, our teachers, our students, our community and technical colleges, our colleges and universities. We have a representative from West Virginia State here. Kimberly, thank you for being here. Fellow government officials, the League of Women Voters, veterans, seniors, thank you all so much for being a partner with the Secretary of State's office, but more importantly, with and for the people of West Virginia. We are so honored and proud to be working with you each and every day. And of course, we always welcome more input, more ideas, not just from our partners, but from anybody else around the state that you're able to see and talk to because of webcasting and open and transparency in government. And to all of you who participated in the video series that I'm going to be talking about shortly, thank you. Thank you for your time and for helping us spread the word about the importance of registering to vote and getting out to vote. So, today, why are we here today? Well, we are so excited that September is National Voter Registration Month. Voter registration is something that our office and our county clerks handle every single day, not just this month, but really this month of recognition allows us across the state and nationally to increase awareness before the general election. And it's coming up in less than 10 weeks now. I'm not sure anybody's counting here, but we are, aren't we, Lena? And as Secretary of State, I have pushed initiatives that makes it easier for eligible West Virginians to get registered to vote, including online voter registration. And now West Virginia is the third state in the nation to pass automatic voter registration legislation. Now, you'll remember, many of you, it was last year during National Voter Registration Month that we launched our online voter registration platform. And so in its first 11 months, we still have September to go through and get the numbers, the system has seen more than 45,000 people and interactions take part of the interactions with the system, including nearly 20,000 new voter registration applications. Now, this is all in addition to the voter registration applications and the changes that go directly to the county clerk's offices. We simply think that that is great. Those are wonderful numbers. The system is accessible for our disability community, it is safe, and it is convenient for all West Virginians. So obviously, all voter registration efforts have to be paired with an equal push to get out and vote, right? It's not going to do us any good if we're not getting out to vote. And we're going to talk about that in a bit. But first off, before we go on, I want to welcome Susan Thomas, as I said, Harrison County Clerk, President of the West Virginia Clerks Association, an opportunity to share a message from her group about voter registration and getting out the vote effort. So, Clerk Thomas.
I want to thank the Secretary for inviting me today to speak to you all on voter registration. The clerks, we're all for getting people to register to vote. And like the Secretary said, and personally I think we need to initiate a get out to vote forum also. We can register all the people we want, but if they don't go out and vote, our rolls are inflated. But don't get me wrong, registration is very important too, you know, for the process. A lot of people just use it for an ID. That's what we see a lot. They need to go get a driver's license, or they simply need an ID. It's free. They can come get it. You know, because I don't know how many times I hear, how much does it cost? Well, it doesn't cost anything, and it's very fortunate. It doesn't take a lot to get, right now it doesn't take a lot to get a registration form, which is great for a lot of people. But again, I think we need to work on getting people out to register. And really, that's about all I have to say. And again, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the work of the county clerk. Such important work being done. And many times, clerk, people don't realize, you know, all the work that's going on before Election Day. We talk about major dates. If you're already registered, the first major date for you might be early voting that starts October 26th, or Election Day, November 8th. But many months before, county clerk, Secretary of State's office are already working to make sure that that election is running very smoothly. So thank you very much. And a question that, and Susan is right, a question that our office and clerks and candidates and people across the state and country are often concerned about is, how do we increase the voter turnout, as she said, and get more people out to vote? Well, voter registration is obviously the first step in the process. When we talk about registration, though, we also talk about voting. And we know that West Virginians respect recommendations and encouragement from friends, family members, neighbors, colleagues, and their church family. So we thought, why not do a video series allowing real West Virginians to talk about why they vote? So every day during this month of September, yes, including weekends too, our office will share on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter a video from a West Virginian talking about why they vote and encouraging folks to get registered or update their information. Now, you know, I can't take full credit for this on the whole video series idea. Many of my fellow secretaries of state have done similar things, but ours will be unique. And I would like to say that ours is going to be better. I'll put that challenge out. Ours is going to be better because we're focusing on real West Virginians. Yes, you're going to see some familiar faces. You might see a university president here and there, some mascots too that you'll recognize. You may see a few TV, music personalities from West Virginia, but mostly you're going to see real West Virginians, many of them here in this room, talking about the real reasons why they vote. So don't just listen to me on why we should get out and vote this year and every election year. Listen to the voices of fellow West Virginians. And I'd like to introduce you now to some of those West Virginians that we have who participated in our video series, and you'll have an opportunity to hear from them. And the first one up is a special guy. It's Justice Hudson. And I've known Justice for a couple years, and you want to talk about somebody getting your juices flowing. You know, it all started for me and him with Inspire West Virginia, and I'm going to let Justice tell a little bit of the story. So thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hi, so like she said, Natalie Tennant and I kind of got to know each other around Inspire West Virginia. So think back 2014. It was the first year that we had Inspire West Virginia, and I was part of that inaugural class. And so for those of you that don't know, Inspire West Virginia takes high school seniors and juniors and gets them in the schools and registers their classes. They really push trying to get 85% of their senior classes registered to vote. And it's a lot harder than you would think. You know, I had a great team of 4 people in my school, and we were able to get 70% on that first day, but a lot of people come in, people are apathetic to voting, especially high school students. And so it was really important for me to not only work with Inspire West Virginia, but also do this video series because I think it's important to see youth, and I think we are a very passionate, group of people, but it's tapping into that passion. So what a lot of youth might think is that, I don't care about voting, but once you really have that conversation with them, everyone has something that they're passionate about, whether it be, energy crisis in, our state, or the budget, or education, or, the whole, thing about Promise Scholarship. Oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time thinking, am I going to lose Promise Scholarship? So once you start talking to them, they honestly start to realize, like, hey, I'm really passionate about voting. And, with such a polarizing general election going on with the presidential, you kind of have to tone it down and, have them realize that, 88% of Congress is up for re-election. And then that's not to mention our state government, which, how many seats are up for re-election. And then, judges were during the primaries and all. So there's so much more than just president. So even if you don't vote for president, in this, however you want to, picture that, voting for those smaller, national and state level government is so important because so many people don't have that right to vote, around the world, and so many people in our own country still kind of struggle with those voting rights. And so, not using your right to vote is kind of a disservice for not only the people that fought for it in our country. It wasn't long ago until the 26th Amendment was passed. And people around the world that are fighting, and people in our own country that are fighting. So that's about all I've got to say. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
It's awesome to be here.
Yes. And what Justice didn't tell you also is he's going to be a little guinea pig for me too. He, in 10 days, is going to Wells. So he is going to be a WVU student. He's also in the WVU marching band, so he's missing the big game in 2 days. And the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, where West Virginia University is representing West Virginia, so he's going to miss that too. But he's got a great opportunity, and so what does that mean for him? If he's going to be leaving in 10 days, how is he going to vote? He is going to vote through our overseas voting system, and that is what we have pushed here through the Secretary of State's office to make it easier to vote for our deployed military members and for overseas citizens like Justice. So we're going to keep, it just gave me goosebumps. So it's something we're going to keep an eye on and learn from his experience and continue to make it better. We've done great strides here in the Secretary of State's office, but we're continuing to work and make it better. And so now I would like to introduce someone who is a member of our state's deaf and hard of hearing community, and that is Larry Hubbard. And again, Rachel is doing the interpreting, and so we're going to switch things up a little bit so you can see Larry come on up.
Hello, my name is Larry Hubbard. Thank you very much to Natalie for inviting me here today to represent the deaf and hard of hearing community. I'm on the board for the West Virginia Association for the Deaf, and I'm also involved in the deaf grassroots movement of West Virginia. I'm very involved in those and how the grassroots movement impacts the deaf and hard of hearing community here. We think that it is very important to encourage people to register to vote here in West Virginia so that we are able to impact legislature here and make improvements that we'd like to see for the deaf and hard of hearing community. A few of those things include communication access, employment, and education. We'd like equal access on all three of those huge benchmarks. So I'd really like to encourage our community members to come out and vote. The reason I participated in this project was to encourage them, show them why it was important that we do that. We can make complaints, sure, but how do we improve those? It's important that we have an impact that way. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Larry. And that's why we have our friends at West Virginia Advocates here also. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Next, I'd like you to hear from a gentleman who is a community activist, supporter, who is a reverend, but also a veteran who has spent 28 and a half years in the military, and many of those years overseas serving our country, and that is Reverend James Ely. Reverend? Thank you, sir.
Again, thank you so very much for inviting us to come and share this moment with you. As she's already said, I spent some 28 and a half years in the military before I became a pastor. And I was mightily blessed in that, unlike many of my friends, I didn't have to secure your right to vote by giving my life. Amen. But because of that, there's just no way that I can understand why anybody that's eligible would not register and vote. The Bible even says that we should pray for our leaders and help them as they try to succeed and lead us and to care for the welfare of the people. But why would you pray for somebody that you won't go vote for? Hello, somebody. So anyway, at our little congregation, the New Life Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church, we have a saying that we kind of rehearse each and every other week or so. And it simply says that anybody that's eligible to vote and won't get registered and won't vote, that all we can say about them is that it's a low down, dirty, rotten, stinking shame.
We might
So-
have to use that as a quote.
So to keep us from talking about you, whatever you do, if you're a witness to this moment or to the videos that you'll see, make it your business to get out and vote. So many of our friends, so many of our West Virginians have given their lives that you might have that right. And for us to abridge it in any way, it is indeed a low down, dirty, rotten, stinking shame. God bless.
Thank you, Reverend. Inspired, can we get that on a t-shirt? You guys think? I think so. I think so. That's really good. Thank you for sharing those stories, those impactful stories, all reasons that I know others should vote to and share. Well, these videos will be shared on our official Facebook page and Twitter accounts throughout the coming days and weeks. And now we want to share our first video that is going to air today. It hasn't been put up yet, right, Brianna? We're going to get it put up as soon as it's aired here first. You saw it here first. From another West Virginian, and this is from Rabbi Victor Urecki. And so if you look to the left, remember, we still have the students over here watching us. You ready?
Hi, I'm Victor Urecki, the rabbi at B'nai Jacob Synagogue here in Charleston. I'm an immigrant to this great country. My parents came to these shores in the 1960s, looking for a better life for themselves and their 2.5-year-old son. I will never forget the day we all became citizens. More importantly, I'll never forget the first time they voted, and I was there with them as they did. And each time I vote, I get emotional, thinking how seriously my parents have taken the right to vote. For them, voting isn't a right. It's a privilege, it's a blessing, it's a duty. My parents, to this day, never miss a chance to voice their opinion in an election, and neither do I. Whether you're blessed enough to be born here or fortunate enough, like me, to find your way to this great land, you know how precious our freedoms are. And one of the greatest freedoms is to vote. Register today and join me in voting this November. Thank you.
How's that one for our first one? Well, Rabbi Urecki is here, and he's already spoken. He's spoken through the video, but more importantly, that I think the two people that brought their 2-year-old son to a new country, and then did all the right things and became citizens here in the United States and voters here. That is Elliot and Jean Urecki. Would you two like to stand and let us recognize you? Thank you for being here. And it just reminds me of how many of us in this country, I would say most of us in this country, got here from immigrants and from grandparents who were brave enough to come over to a new country. And I'll just add a little bit to this news conference is that, you know, as we prepare for Labor Day weekend, and for me personally, prepare for the West Virginia Italian Heritage Festival, my grandparents came over from Italy, and many of them came over to work in the coal mines also. So do you see for me how coming into West Virginia in this country and also Labor Day working hand in hand is such an impactful and important weekend. And I think that it's ironic that people consider it's also the time of year and the weekend where voting really becomes a focus, because elections become more of a focus, Rabbi. And I also want to mention that, you know, as we're here, we have Allegra. You know, we talk about the West Virginia Department of Education, and she is with the State Department of Education, but her mother is also here with us from Florence, Italy. Caterina is here, so thank you. And thank you for sending your daughter our way. So I just think it, you know, puts into place what we are all here to do, is to get those who are eligible to vote registered to vote, and then get them to vote. Right, Clerk? So, Rabbi, thank you, and thank you for bringing your parents here. And this is a video that we'll be running as soon as we walk out of here, and Sam puts it on, right? So I think that you'll all agree with me that these videos and these voices are powerful. They are voices and perspectives that we can share through email, through social media, and I hope that will inspire others to take action. And I hope that it'll continue to be shared and shared and shared. And while this video series is great, this is just one thing that we're doing for National Voter Registration Month. You'll also find our office and partner organizations, many of them here, hosting voter registration drives across the state. I know I'll be participating in tele-town hall meetings, visiting high schools, community and technical colleges, and other events. And our office will be providing information and materials for events all over West Virginia. And remember that this month is just not about new voter registration, but it can also be about updating current voter registration to reflect the correct name and address if it has changed, or any of your information, so you can get your precinct correct when you're headed to the polls. Now, this is a wonderful month, and we're going to have a great month. And I'm the one who's blessed enough to get up here and talk to fellow West Virginians and say, this is what we're doing. Well, the we part of this is the staff in the Secretary of State's office. They have been unbelievable and have made these connections with all of the organizations who are here with us. And I do see the elections division over here too. Lena Valentine Brown is our elections director, and we will be busy over the next 10 weeks serving fellow West Virginians. But I just wanted to recognize the staff of Brianna and Sam, who've been making sure that this communication is getting out to everyone. And our IT is it's everyone in the office. Please go look at our website so you can see all the staff who've done all this hard work. So thank you. So they've done some of their work. What can you do now? You as West Virginians, you as we continue with our organizations. Well, what can you do? Well, first off, you can go to the website at govotewv.com. Pretty easy, right? govotewv.com to register or change your information through our online voter registration system application. You can also download an application from our form on our website, or go in person and visit your county clerk's office. The deadline to register to vote, as I already said, is October the 18th. Early voting begins the 26th of October. Help us to spread the word. Remember, we are influenced more by those that we know, those that we interact with. Talk to a friend and make sure that they're registered to vote, that their information is up to date. Tell them why you think it's important to go register and vote. Share information via social media and use the hashtag GoVoteWV hashtag. And we're going to be doing some fun things with that. Not sure I can get the Reverend saying on a t-shirt, but there might be a t-shirt involved if you do hashtag GoVoteWV, for sure. Share these videos with fellow West Virginians and go vote. And thank you all very much, and help us to encourage our fellow West Virginians to get registered and go vote. Thank you all very much for being here. We all can take some questions. I'm offering you all up, but I think we do have a question, and I know we had one from the high school. Who has it, or the one you told me?
Yeah, so they actually submitted their question in advance. The students in Ms. Phillips' class were just wondering, what if they don't want to vote for the presidential candidates? Why should they still vote?
That's a great question. The question from the students came as if they don't want to vote for any of the presidential candidates that are on the ballot, why should they go vote anyway? And I think that Justice kind of touched on that too, because it's not just the president that is on our ballot, it is our statewide candidates. You know, I've talked about this. We're getting a new president no matter what. We're getting a new governor in West Virginia no matter what. And so you can make sure your voices are heard that way. There are statewide office races being run. There are county races, House of Delegates, state senate. There are so many other races on the ballot that you are impacted by those decisions of those elected officials. So you have to make sure that you get out and you have your decision made and your voices are heard about who you want to represent you in any of those different areas, offices. Any more questions? Did you get one, Corey? No? Okay. Any other questions here? Very good. Well, thank you all very much for being here and being part of this special celebration as we go forward. Thank you.